Hello, my fellow Americans. As you may have noticed, this is not my normal government office. This is a hotel room. I am currently in self-quarantine because it was brought to my attention that someone who works in my office has recently come down with the coronavirus. And they're currently in ICU right now. And me personally, I don't have any symptoms. However, I've worked in close vicinity with this person, and so I thought that it was best for me to take some time off work, spend some time in this hotel room for about 14 days, and if I don't notice anything by then, we'll get back to work. But even though I'm in this self-quarantine, I deal with some very important things to bring to you. Now, here's the thing. I'd like to say excellent job to everyone who is definitely abiding by these social distancing guidelines. When I look out my window, I see that everybody's wearing a mask. I see that people are afraid to come near each other, and that is a good thing. I'd much rather you be too afraid to come near someone than for you to come near them and to potentially get infected, or you unknowingly to infect them. I have some notes on my phone, so I'll keep back referring to this, make sure I don't miss anything important. Okay, so here's the thing. I just got off a conference call with my experts, and unfortunately they gave us some news, which is, just to warn you, it was very difficult for me to accept, so I understand if you have a hard time accepting it as well. But they've informed me that they spent several days working on the problem, and there was only one solution that they came to. That solution is that we need to mandate that every single woman who is currently carrying a child must immediately have an abortion. I know this is definitely hard to hear, but please allow me to explain how they came to that conclusion. The experts, they are expecting a second wave of infections, and they believe that it could potentially be even larger than the first wave, and we're going to need all hospital beds, that is including all beds within maternity wards. So all maternity wards are going to be converted into places to house COVID-19 patients. And we know that there are some people who specialize in facilitating home births. We have determined that home births are a non-essential work function. So we are currently banning that right now. The reason why is because if you're facilitating a birth, you're in very close vicinity to the person. You could become infected. They could become infected. We just found that there is no way to abide by the guidelines, the social distancing guidelines, and to facilitate a birth. There's just too much of a risk. So it's much better for the entire country if we don't do it, because if anything goes wrong with those home births, they're going to be rushed to the hospital anyway, and that defeats the purpose. We don't want the woman who just gave birth to be exposed to the virus. We don't want her to potentially infect others who may not be infected there. It would just all around be much better for the country itself if no women were carrying a child right now. You're probably wondering what gives us the right to do this. I understand. I'd like to draw your attention to a Supreme Court case here. I have it here written for you. It's called, here we go. It's Jacobson versus Massachusetts. And during that court case, it was decided that in special cases, cases such as the one that we're in right now, it can be necessary for us to suspend the rights of the individual if it is for the greater good of society. I know this is something we definitely did not want to do. We looked at every possible way. I asked them, okay guys, is there any way in which we can let the people keep their rights right now? They said no, there's no possible way. We're going to have to suspend the rights of the people, and that is including people who don't want an abortion for religious reasons. We're going to have to also suspend those rights as well. There will be no exemptions, irrespective of religion. However, there is good news. The good news is that once this crisis is over, our experts will let you know when will be a safe time for you to be pregnant again. But unfortunately, we can't afford to let that happen in the meantime. So the deadline to have your abortion completed is actually this Friday. And we definitely overstaff all of our abortion clinics. You can walk in there, they'll be ready for you. They can get it done quick and easy. You can have it done definitely same day. Don't even need an appointment, just walk in there. And we'll take care of that for you. Unfortunately, if you're found to not have had the abortion after this Friday, we're going to have to arrest you, unfortunately. We don't want to do this, but we have no other choice. We just literally can't afford for you to have to require those beds in the maternity ward, or to risk you infecting someone by a home birth, or worse, risk you trying to do it yourself if something goes wrong. There's just way too many variables. It would be much better if you do your part for the country by having an abortion. Let me see what else we have here. Yes, just to underscore the importance, again, make sure you get it done by this Friday, or else we're going to have to arrest you. And while being imprisoned, we're going to have to perform the abortion on you. We don't want to do this, but we have no choice, though, because we just really can't afford for you to lock up those COVID-19 beds. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do it for you. So we'll get that done for you. And again, we do apologize for those who don't want to do it for religious reasons, for those who are just looking forward to having a new member to the family. We apologize for that, but I assure you the experts have looked at this at length, and there literally is no other way. So again, we apologize, and they will let you know when it is safe to be pregnant again. All right, what else do we have here? I'd like to read something for you. Jacobson versus Massachusetts. I want to read to you. This is paraphrasing. You can find this on Wikipedia, in case you're wondering how we have the right to do this. I gave you a summary, but now I'm going to read an actual paraphrase from Wikipedia. Here's what it says. The court's decision articulated the view that the freedom of the individual must sometimes be subordinated to the common welfare and is subject to the police power of the state. And unfortunately, my fellow Americans, this is one of those cases in which the freedom of the individual must be subordinated. We have to temporarily suspend your rights for the greater good of society. All right, so that's what the women can do. So women, I'd like to thank you beforehand. First of all, you've been very good at keeping those guidelines. Being within 6 feet of people, wearing masks, not leaving your house unless for a very important reason. I appreciate that. Women, you've done an excellent job. And now I'd like to speak to the gentlemen. Gentlemen, I need your help as well. It is time for you to do your part for this country. And that's why we are mandating that every single gentleman must come in and have a vasectomy. You have until this Friday to have it done. And if you want to know why we're doing this, I guess I'll give you an explanation. The reason why is because when women become pregnant, they don't do it by themselves. So we must all take responsibility here. And the only way to ensure that no other women become pregnant with 100% certainty is to make sure that all of our men right now are sterile. So once you have your vasectomy done, we're going to give you what we call a certificate of sterility. And so if the police stop you on the street, you show them that certificate and they'll let you go on your way. If you do not have a certificate, after this Friday, unfortunately, you will be arrested. You will be imprisoned. Unfortunately, given the ruling of Jacobson versus Massachusetts, we are not able to force you to have a vasectomy. However, we do have the right to imprison you, either until you agree to have one and you complete the vasectomy, or until the crisis is over. But either way, you will be arrested if you are found to have not gotten your certificate after this Friday. I know many of you are wondering, like, well, wait a minute, like, once the crisis is over, why don't I have children then? Don't worry. My experts, they looked at it, and they said that for the most part, vasectomies are reversible. It's not true in all cases, but it will be true in the vast majority of cases. There will be some men who will not be able to have children ever again. That is unfortunate. But for those men will be compensated. We've decided that we're going to give each of those men an additional, on top of whatever your stimulus payments are, we'll give you an additional $1,000 if you are found to be sterile, even after we've attempted to reverse the procedure. And also we also want to honor those gentlemen. We have each of those gentlemen is going to receive a Medal of Honor. And the reason why is because the experts have let me know that the world is overpopulated, right? There are too many people here. We all need to do our part to decrease the birth rate. And the best way to do that is to have some percentage of the population. I'm sorry, I'm talking too quickly. The best way to address that problem is to make sure that some percentage of the population is sterile. So if you become sterile, it's not the end of the world. It means that you are doing your part for society. Again, you'll get your Medal of Honor, you'll get your $1,000, and we definitely appreciate your service. Before I continue here, I just want to stop for a minute. I don't know if I can say this enough, but there really was no other way. Experts, they looked at it, they said, looked at every single possibility. Every man must have a vasectomy. Every woman must get an abortion. And it's got to be done quickly because the second wave is coming very quickly. And we need to get all these things taken care of right now. So we appreciate your compliance. And don't worry, like as soon as women are able to be pregnant again, the experts, we will let you know, and you can come in. The gentlemen can come in and have their procedures reversed, free of charge. And if it can be reversed, it will be. If it can't be, well then we thank you for your service, and you'll definitely get your Medal of Honor if you cannot have children again after that. Let's continue here. Compensation for those who help. Here's the thing. Even though we are rolling this out, we don't have eyes and ears everywhere. So we're gonna need your help. If you see a woman who is carrying a child after this Friday, we're gonna list the phone number. Just give that number a call. We'll collect that woman, and we'll force her to undergo an abortion. And also, we'll give you $1,000. So we really appreciate that. And also, if you find any gentlemen, if anyone finds a man who does not have a certificate of sterility after this Friday, give us a call. We will come and collect him, and we will hold him in prison until either he gets his vasectomy or until the crisis is over, one or the other. In either case, we will give you $1,000 for every single person that you report and is found to be in violation. And there is no limit to the amount compensation which you can receive. So if you find 10 pregnant women, we collect all 10. We'll give you 10 grand. If you find 10 men with no certificate, if you find 10 men with no certificate of sterility, we'll give you 10 grand. So that should be good news. And this is on top of your stimulus payments. This is going to be tax-free money. So we look forward to working with you in order to keep society safe. Many have asked, when will we roll back the guidelines? Originally we were looking at the beginning of April. Eventually we pushed it back to mid-April, which is where we're at right now. But now my experts are saying that we need to push it back to mid-May. So that is around May 15th. At that point, we may have to push it back again. but we'll definitely keep you posted if that is necessary. But right now, preliminarily, they're saying it probably will be pushed back again. So just to warn you, so you won't be surprised. It very likely will be. But the date that we've set right now is May 15th. But we don't control the timeline. We just look at the data. We do the best that we could do. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anything else here. See if we have any more important things to go over. Let's see. Let me stop for a minute. American people, I can't thank you enough for this. I really appreciate this. You've definitely gone above and beyond. Just do this one more thing for us. The crisis will end very quickly, and we get back to normal. And tomorrow, we have 2 other programs we're going to be talking about. Tomorrow we're going to be discussing our mandatory kidney donor program. We have a problem right now. Our donor list has a lot of people who need a kidney. And most people in society have 2, even though they only need 1. If you have 2, you can definitely spare at least 1. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have everybody come in. We're going to take tissue samples so we could, know who, I guess the best way to put this, so that when a person needs a kidney, we can go through our database and figure out who has the kidney, which is actually compatible with that particular person's body. So anyway, we'll talk more about this one tomorrow. And also we're going to roll out our mandatory blood donor program. And we realize that many people in this country have never given blood. That is not right. We need everybody to do their part. Again, this is for the greater good of society. Some people will die without a kidney, so we definitely got to make sure they get that. And many people need blood transfusions. We need those as well. And again, for the same reason as before, I'd like to draw your attention back to Jacobson versus Massachusetts. This is definitely one of those cases in which we need to suspend the rights of the individual for the good of society. But again, we're going to talk more about those 2 programs tomorrow. Today, the reason why I've come to you is just to discuss the mandatory abortion, which we're rolling out, and that is definitely due by this Friday. Make sure you get it done by this Friday. And to also discuss the mandatory vasectomies, also due by this Friday. Again, I'm going to come back to you again tomorrow. Thank you, American people. Keep up the great work. We do apologize for having to suspend your rights, but just know that it's for the greater good. Just know that we've thought long and hard about what we could do, and the experts have told me that this is literally the only way. And we have precedent, Jacobson versus Massachusetts. It says that we have the right to suspend your rights. We can force you to do what is in the best interest of society. We're sorry to have to do it, but there was no other way. And also we ask that you please stay strong. You're doing excellent work out there, and keep up the great work. The numbers are very good, and that's all because of you. You've done your part. You abided by the guidelines, so continue to do your part, and just do these 2 things for us: mandatory abortions for all women, mandatory vasectomies for all men. And before you know it, we'll be out of this crisis. Our experts will let you know when men can come in and get it reversed, and when the women can be pregnant again. Thank you so much. Be well, and look forward to coming back to you tomorrow. Cheers.